All right, so we're talking right now about probate leads, and something that just come up about, you had mentioned, Fiona, that you felt like an ambulance chaser, or people,
Or
maybe you
more like
other,
a morgue chaser or a hearse chaser.
yeah, true. Or,
Ambulance
well,
is
you
gone.
didn't say you thought that. You said other people
Right.
maybe said that. Or so it's interesting because this is even why this marketing is so much more important, to get out in front of people, so that because if you are putting content in front of people that maybe having to deal with a probate, you're not coming off as an ambulance chaser. You're coming off as somebody that's helping and providing good content. And I'm glad you said that, Mike, because
Yeah.
really wouldn't have thought of that. But
Yeah.
I mean, this marketing actually solves that problem, Fiona.
100%. It's
Yeah,
contribution, right? But
right.
think about now. We've talked a lot about this on these calls. And I all roads to me seem to lead to all roads to me lead to custom audiences. But let's just think about this for a second. Let's say you have this list and you've got it, you've acquired it, right? You have the emails, you have the phone numbers and the contact information. Let's say we create that custom audience on Facebook. Okay. That now gives you the ability for just a couple of dollars to send them content in their feeds, sponsored feeds. So let's say, and you said you like to wait 3 months. I say that's too long, because at 3 months they're going to have a lot in place. But here's the question: you want to be able to get to them really in the first week or two without looking like, look, you're generally going to help them. You're coming from concern and caring and concern, contribution, but we're dealing with human emotions, and someone's just passed away, so that you can't get away from the reality. However, let's say now, look at the scenario. Within the first few days, they start seeing helpful videos from Fiona talking about, hey, if you have to sell a loved one's home because they've passed away, this is a challenging time. Here's the things that you want to think about. And they're just really informational videos. Facebook is giving it to them. They're just going to assume that because someone passed away, it's coming to them. And they're not going to say, well, this Fiona is going after me now. People don't make that connection. So that they just automatically assume, because they now are in that position of being a trustee or a personal rep, just like, they'll start getting things shown to them in relation to that. But if you can come across as genuine and in contribution, you will be the one to think of, right?
Right.
They won't understand necessarily why they're seeing it, that you're actually creating it in the back end. You're leveraging that ability to see it. So it's very different than I'm getting that phone call from you, right?
Yeah.
Because they'll think they found you, in which they have. I mean, it's not a deception, but they'll have found you, and you'll have come in with information, leading with information, and building credibility, right? So then they'll be reaching out to you, or when you do call them, several weeks later, I've been seeing your videos. You can say, yeah, that's the magic. That's the way it works. I mean, it's just, you must have got into the probate world, and so my stuff does get circulated, right?
Yeah. Yeah.
It's brilliant if you
It's pretty
think about
powerful,
it, right?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's like,
Yeah.
it's like you have these names, you have these people's information already. And, if you don't want to come off as like, hey, I could care less. I'm just some sleazebag salesperson trying to get a listing, you know what I mean? Unempathetic, or whatever words you want to use for that. But by doing it this way, you're just providing valuable information. You're providing information. And then I even go back to our past video. If you have an attorney involved with you in the video, right? You're interviewing an attorney, like, hey, maybe here are the 3 things you need to know before dealing with a probate, or something like that. Again, you're just providing info. And then at the end, if they want to contact you to discuss, potentially being their real estate agent, that's obviously going to be in there as well.
That's right. You're building brand with them. This is Dean Jackson, who's one of our mentors, just, brand, buyer reflex affecting a now decision, right? That's his definition of brand. So if you can start putting out your videos, which are all coming from contribution, right, and caring and concern, in front of them at the time that they most need it, you're now building brand with the people that you most want to have a brand with, right? And you have to have that mindset, because if they don't call you, who actually are going out of your way to speak to attorneys and become an expert and a master of dealing with these things. It's emotions, it's legal issues, it's things that is deeds, right? They make it somebody else, and somebody else is just in it for the money. So you have you can argue you have a moral obligation to get in front of those people, but in such a way that it's not offensive, right?
Right.
And this allows you to use the technology to do that.
Yeah, I love it. I think it's perfect. It's great conversation, because we were talking earlier about why marketing is so important and why we need to use marketing to enhance our prospecting.
Mm-hmm.
So even if you sent, like, Vienna, let's say you sent, let's say you have these people on Facebook in a CSV file, and they're seeing the, and then maybe you just send a bomb video saying, hey, sorry for your loss. If I can help, whatever, right? I'm just throwing some stuff out there, but that's even comes off as a little less aggressive than just the first time just calling and saying, hey, I saw, whatever, right? You're going to be dealing with some probate, and this is what I do.
Postcard,
so you're
even.
softening that up, or postcard.
Postcard. Sorry, I'm sorry for your loss. I know this is a grievous time. It's not time many of us want to have to face. You're probably getting calls from a lot of different professionals and whatnot. Just want you to know that we have materials we prepared. If there is a house to sell, this might be helpful for you. There's no obligation, anything like that. And you've been building that brand with them. And then if that comes, then you're going to have a percentage that are going to respond to you.
Yeah. So the whole point of this conversation is really just to explain how important marketing is when it comes to prospecting. Because I think a lot of us only do one or the other. At least that's what I'm seeing, is we'll do one or the other. Like, I know a lot of people are really, really phenomenal at marketing. They'll send emails. They got really compelling, clever content. And I know other people, like my example of me, is amazing on the phones, grinder, but not a lot of people put the two together and marry the two. And I think that's ultimately what we're creating here with having these conversations around prospecting and marketing. And how to use them to make them become more effective at both. Right. I don't know about you guys, but I mean, I've gotten so many emails on stuff that, I don't need any more emails, to be honest with you, but every once in a while, someone will send one and the title will be a little compelling, and I'll be like, okay, interesting, but I got too many other things. But now if I got that email and then all of a sudden I received a call from somebody that was competent, not a bonehead, but somebody that's really, really good on the phone. Now I'm a lot more open to listening to that person and taking a look at it.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. But you'll get inbound calls from what we're describing here, putting out the informative videos, especially if you end the informative video with, if you need more information, or you want my checklist of, the things that someone probating a will needs to know with regards to real estate, click here. It's a no obligations, a free checklist, instant download. Right? You're going to get a lot of those instant downloads, right? And then those instant downloads, they've given you information, right? Now you have, so to speak, permission to market to them, or permission to speak with them anyway. They have an interest in hearing more.
Right.
And then when you call them up and you say, hey, I see you downloaded my checklist. I know this is a difficult time for you, but I just wanted you to know that if you'd like to set up a quick call, I can take you through that checklist and answer any questions you have on it. And it'd be my pleasure to serve you if I can as your agent, because this is what we have a specialty in. I'm here. Here's a resource for you. I think that's the approach you take with that with that type of a market. You'll get tons of business from it. There's no doubt.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. Well, this has been really good. I think the key here is again, it's compelling content, meaning you're getting in somebody's, you're getting in front of a conversation as Dean Jackson, I think, said, or I think that's where I heard it. You're getting in front of a conversation that somebody's already having in their mind.
Right.
So, if the topic we're talking about today is probate, but there's so many other topics, right? I mean,
Sure.
there's There's like, I'm getting ready to sell my house in the spring, which we just did a whole thing on that. There's short sales, there's
Expired,
luxury homes.
sell by owners,
Oh, yeah.
everything.
So anything, there's staging, right? Any topic you can think of, we can do this in. So, all right. Well, hey, thank you, Michael. That was awesome. Fiona, thanks for your time. And for you guys watching this, you can make sure and check out the next video up here, which is going to be the 4 vital ways to get your home ready for the spring, which ultimately is also an example of what we're talking about today, because this is connected to an article as well as a second video. So take a look at that. And if you need anything, reach out to me.